At 28 years old, Nia is a brilliant black investigator who has firmly earned her place in the field. Even in her early years, she showed unmatched discipline and precision in every assignment she took on. Her work is always sharp, decisive, and guided by an unshakable sense of fairness. Colleagues admire her for never compromising her principles. No matter the pressure or circumstances, it's her resilience and deep-rooted commitment to justice that make her one of the most respected agents around. Each weekend morning, she follows a routine that grounds her, a peaceful bike ride through the quiet suburbs to clear her mind before diving into another demanding week. She adjusts her helmet, grabs her gear, and steps out into the fresh air, ready to enjoy a moment of calm. As she enters the winding trails of Eastbrook Park, surrounded by early sunlight and birdsong, she feels free, completely in tune with herself and the world. But she has no idea that today's ride will set off a chain of events she never expected. This path, so familiar and safe, is about to lead her straight into a confrontation that will shake her faith in the very system she once defended. What's about to happen is more than an incident. It's a turning point. A moment where justice, identity, and inner strength will collide in a powerful test. Let me take you on this journey today. If this story moves you, remember to like and subscribe. You won't want to miss what's coming next. Nia, raised in a modest household with no riches but plenty of love, has known the sting of prejudice since she was a child. While still in school, she faced judgment and exclusion from peers just because of the color of her skin. But she never let it break her. Instead, she turned pain into drive, believing that excellence in academics was the key to proving her worth. Her parents raised her to value ethics, to be strong, and to never feel ashamed of who she was. Her home was filled with encouragement, a place where warmth and mutual support helped her grow into the woman she is today. Throughout her teenage years, Nia nurtured her intelligence and grit. She studied relentlessly, often pushing herself late into the night to reach her goals. Her efforts paid off. She graduated at the top of her class and won a scholarship to a highly respected university. After years of dedication, she earned her degree and joined the Federal Bureau straight after graduation. By 28, she had become one of the top agents in her division. Colleagues admired her, superiors trusted her. But Nia never let success change her. She stayed grounded, never bragged, never sought praise. The badge she carried remained tucked away, not as a trophy, but as a reminder of her purpose, to serve, not to show off. Her life was simple, unpretentious. She lived in a small, clean apartment near her office, choosing function over flair. She spent her free time learning, sharpening her skills, and growing quietly. Though her job came with pressure and intensity, Nia always greeted people with respect and kindness. She knew humility wasn't just noble. It was essential for building trust and making a real difference. No matter how far she'd come, Nia never forgot the core values instilled by her parents. Live with honesty, face challenges with courage, and never let ego take over. She knew titles fade, but principles endure. And this morning, like so many before, she rode her bike along the shaded lanes of her favorite park. In those peaceful rides, she found clarity. Surrounded by trees and silence, she could breathe, reflect, and simply be herself. Cycling through the park was something that gave Nia a sense of calm. It was one of the few places where she felt truly at ease. An open space, filled with air and quiet, where she could disconnect from the pressures of her work. But that morning didn't unfold the way it usually did. As she pedaled along the path she had taken countless times before, she began to notice a cluster of strangers watching her. Their stares weren't curious. They were cold, filled with judgment and quiet hostility. She tried to look ahead, to ignore them, but it was impossible not to feel the weight of their gaze. She heard faint voices behind her, low but unmistakably bitter. words laced with quiet racism that tightened in her chest like an invisible grip. Suddenly, a loud voice cut through the silence. "Hey, you!" From across the paved trail, a tall white police officer in full uniform strode toward her. His sunglasses slid slightly down his face, revealing a scowl that radiated contempt. "What are you doing here?" he barked. Naya stopped. Her pulse sped up, not from the ride, but from the atmosphere that had suddenly turned hostile. This was a park open to everyone, a space she knew well. But now, she sensed something dangerous hiding behind the badge. She hesitated. "Did you hear me?" He snapped again, his voice louder now, his boots thudding closer. People around them had started to look, eyes turned toward the scene, curious and unsure. "I'm riding my bike," she said evenly, trying to stay composed but alert. "Is there an issue?" The officer smirked, his tone mocking. "Issue? You people don't belong here." His voice sharpened with each word. "This park isn't meant for folks like you. You really think you have a right to be here?" Each insult cut deep, soaked in the venom of racial bias. She stayed silent for a moment, fighting the flood of emotions, building in her chest. Then came another demand. "Hey, I asked you something. We got reports of suspicious activity. And you? You match the description." Nia's brows furrowed. "Suspicious activity? You mean biking?" Her voice was firmer now. Her eyes locked with his. His face reddened. "You got an attitude, huh? Show me your ID, now." She didn't speak. Instead, she calmly reached into her pocket and took out her phone. "I'm recording this." That set him off. In a flash, he slapped the phone from her hand. It hit the ground hard, the sound echoing in the growing tension around them. "You think you can challenge me?" he growled, stepping toward the phone, ready to smash it beneath. His boot. But Naya moved first. In one swift motion, she grabbed his leg, twisting it hard enough to send him crashing down. Gasps erupted from the onlookers. Some backed away in disbelief. "You're insane. You're under arrest," he roared, reaching for his cuffs. He kicked at her in fury, but she dodged, her reflexes sharp. He lunged again, this time aiming straight at her torso. But Nia wasn't the scared girl who had once been silenced by hate. She had strength now. A fire built from years of overcoming injustice. She braced herself, blocking the blow with her arms. The impact jolted her elbow, but she held her ground. With one quick motion, she swept his leg, knocking him backward with surprising force. The officer reacted fast, throwing an elbow toward her face, but Nia saw it coming. She tilted her head just in time and raised her arm to deflect a second blow, coming from behind. As he staggered, losing balance for a second, she didn't hesitate. She grabbed his wrist, twisting it downward, forcing him to crash against the hard ground. Gasps echoed around them as the crowd watched in stunned silence. The man tried to rise, reaching up to shove her away, but she was already moving. With a precise strike, she kicked the back of his knee, causing him to drop again. In that moment, she stopped being just a target. She became a symbol of strength and resistance. The officer's face turned red, a mix of fury and disbelief. "You think you can take me down?" he shouted. But Nia didn't move an inch. She stood upright, her stance firm, her eyes locked onto his. This wasn't just a physical fight. This was a moment charged with history, with pain, with purpose. He tried to gather himself, but she was already ahead. With slow precision, she reached into her jacket and pulled out her badge. Holding it up with steady hands, she said clearly, "I'm Special Agent Nia Brooks, Federal Bureau of Investigation." His body froze. His eyes widened. He stared at the letters on the badge as if the ground beneath him had vanished. His voice cracked. "FBI?" Nia didn't blink. "You've just committed the worst mistake of your career." The world around them seemed to pause. No one spoke. Only the rustling of leaves filled the silence. His arrogance vanished, replaced by fear and growing confusion. But for Nia, this wasn't the end. She had seen what power could do when placed in the wrong hands. and she had no intention of letting it slide. The onlookers began to stir. Some muttered disapproval toward the officer. Others turned their gaze to Nia. Their eyes filled with respect. A few silently pulled out their phones, recording the scene from beginning to end. Within hours, the footage hit social media, causing an uproar online. Thousands criticized the officer, calling it a clear case of racial profiling and abuse of power. Outrage grew. Comments exploded across platforms, full of pain, anger, and truth. With public pressure mounting, the department had no choice. The officer was suspended while a formal investigation began. The entire community waited for answers. People wanted to know if this incident would finally push authorities to face the deep-rooted issues within the system. For Nia, it became about more than just that day. She wanted justice not only for herself, but for all those silenced and mistreated because of their skin color. And she knew that words alone wouldn't bring change. So she began connecting with others who shared her mission. Nia wasn't just a dreamer. She had vision, and the drive to turn it into real change. She began building small community circles where people could openly discuss issues tied to inequality and racism. These gatherings weren't just talks, they became platforms for individuals to share experiences, support each other, and explore real ways to push for justice. Nia's vision was simple: create a space where everyone could feel seen, heard, and safe from judgment. She launched workshops, organized awareness campaigns, and joined peaceful marches with others who shared her mission. Nia wasn't only defending her own dignity, she was helping others rediscover hope in a system that had long failed them. Every event she led carried a powerful message. Never stay silent in the face of injustice. Speak. Up, stand up. Change begins with you. Slowly, her community grew. People from different backgrounds began to gather, each story adding fuel to the movement's momentum. The more they shared, the stronger they became. Their collective voice inspired those still, hesitant to step forward and demand the respect they deserved. Though Nia guided the group, she never saw herself as above anyone. She always reminded them that their strength came from unity, not from any single person. As the club expanded, its influence stretched beyond the local area. Larger human rights organizations began to take notice. Nia became a figure of strength, a woman recognized not only for her role as a federal agent, but as a change-maker who refused to let injustice continue unchallenged. She had become a symbol, a voice of resistance, a force for change. Her work echoed far and wide, touching lives well beyond her own city. Nia understood that progress wouldn't happen overnight, but she also believed that with conviction, courage, and the right people beside you, change is always possible. And whenever the fight for equality would rise again, she would be there, on the front lines, leading with strength and compassion, fighting for a world where no one is judged for the color of their skin.